My dear students, really it's a pleasure for me to share some of my life experiences with you all. Life is made up of both failures and success. Failure is not fatal, success is not final. And you remember, every saint has the past and every sinner has future. I will give you some of my life examples so that you can also emulate or imitate in your plan of life, and you can also reach a comfort zone. Just like any other student, I started my life with some sort of confusion. Especially during our period, there were no electronic gadgets. Nowadays, for any student, if they have got some doubts, they can consult or they can Google some information. But we don't belong to that generation. Our generation has seen only radios and transistors initially. Later, TVs were introduced, of course. Now, we are also exploring various information technology platforms. But this is a journey. But initially, we started very traditionally, of course. We started very traditionally. So, because of this, there was a little bit confusion, and I was not clear about my career. And believe, I'm not a bright student, not even a better student. I can say that I was a very bad student, lacking in communication skills, social skills, with so many constraints, inhibitions, phobias, with bad handwriting, like that. I was not at all cared for by my teachers. No teacher recognized me during my school days or even during my college days. Like that, my journey started with a very faded line, with a very faded manner. It was not bright at all. And I was a little bit confused about my career, and I never thought of my career, first of all. I did not have any idea to settle down in life initially. Later, with the passage of time during my SSC, I started fearing mathematics and English. And you know that it's a sort of phobia every student will have in his or her lifetime. This phobia of mathematics is called arithmophobia, and I was a little bit afraid of mathematics and all sort of nonsense in mathematics, because I feel that it's a nonsense because I did not understand it. Later, of course, coming to English, because I studied uh, in Telugu medium up to 10th class, I'm not clear about the syntax of English. So that was another disadvantage initially, of course, which I overcame in later part of my life. So during 10th class, if you happen to see my marks list, you will wonder how this man came to this position. I scored only 36 marks in mathematics and only 60 or less than 60 marks in general science or science. Later, I joined intermediate with this second class marks in SSC. I studied only in government schools and colleges, which was a boon really in my life, because only in government colleges I will have a heterogeneous circle around me. There was no trend of private colleges then. I don't say that privatization is bad, but for me, studying in government colleges became a boon. That may be the characteristic feature of that particular period of time. I don't generalize it, of course. I don't generalize it. It doesn't it doesn't matter from which institute you're coming out, but the way you have studied That only matters. Anyway, I joined in government junior college and I opted for BPC, not because of interest in biological sciences, not because of my affinity towards biological sciences, because of the fear of mathematics. I joined BPC stream. For the first time, I entered into English medium, and everything was Greek and Latin. And you know about zoology and botany, how difficult it is to remember the Latin and Greek names of various animals and plants. And because of this, I failed in the first year. I failed in the first year. Later, I got through, I cleared all the subjects in supplementary examination, of course, which was not reflected in my original marks list. For heaven's sake, it was a sort of advantage for me, of course. Nobody knew about my failure unless I speak about it. During second year, of course, to some extent, I picked up with communication skills and with drawing skills, and I started developing some sort of enthusiasm towards biological sciences, maybe because of my teachers. Of course, during those days, teachers were very conventional. They used to teach in chalk and talk method, and they did not allow us to interact with them for so many reasons that are known to them alone. Maybe the tendency of a teacher during that period may be like that. I don't find fault with that particular generation, of course. But anyway, I was a little bit comfortable with my intermediate studies, of course. During that period, of course, during that intermediate period, I started developing some sort of flair for English. I started developing some sort of interest towards syntax, towards communication skills like that. I started reading the novels of R.K. Narayanan. And later I also read some of the works of Chakravarti Rajagopalachari, which created some sort of interest. As a result, I started picking up very good vocabulary in English, very comfortable vocabulary. I don't say that I have become Shakespeare by then, but to some extent, I started feeling comfortable with that foreign language. Of course, in intermediate also, I got only second class. It seems that I was not deserving the first class in intermediate, of course. My score is also not that much bright. I used to see many movies. I used to bunk classes now and then. But at the same time, along with the zoology, I started developing some sort of interest in chemistry also. I went for tuition. My tuition master is Vasudeva Rao sir. I have to remember him for my lifetime. Has created tremendous interest in chemistry. And the mysteries of chemistry was unfolded, were unfolded by him. I started enjoying organic chemistry, and that helped me a lot in my present career also. Because you know that as a zoology lecturer, I had to deal with so many chemical equations and formulae. Anyway, it's a different story. Let us go back in time machine and let us recapitulate my journey. Let me recapitulate my journey. I used to see so many movies. I used to read so many novels, and I used to read the works of native authors and also the works of foreign authors. I used to read novels of Telugu and English. And Yandamuri Virendranath and Malladi Venkatkrishnamurthy are the Telugu authors who influenced me very much. I almost went through all the works of Yandamuri Virendranath and also Malladi Venkatkrishnamurthy. Malladi Venkata Krishnamurthy's crime thrillers attracted me like anything. And at the same time, I was tremendously influenced by thriller novel written by Yandamuri Virendranath In fact, it reshaped my opinions. It reshaped my opinions regarding human relations. I started defining various human relations. I started visualizing the vagueness of certain relations, and I started experiencing the intensity of the affection of the parents. The moment I get attached to the family, I feel like settling down for the best. I started repenting about my failures, but I made a SWOT analysis at this juncture. I started exploring my strengths, understanding my weaknesses, fulfilling them with my strengths again. I explored the various opportunities like that. During that period, when I came out of the intermediate with second class marks, dramatically I got seat in the college of repute, namely Government Arts College at Anantapur. I entered into the portals of Government Arts College as an ordinary student. I was a little bit afraid to move in the corridors of that college because I was not that much bright. And before joining degree college, I wrote MSET, but I did not get through that examination. But because of my preparation towards that MSET examination, I got sufficient insights and inputs regarding zoology, botany, that means biological sciences, along with chemistry. But somehow I did not clear that MSET, but I did not get upset, of course. I started my journey as an undergraduate in prestigious government arts college. I joined BZC, English medium, that was named as the F1 section. I completed my graduation from 1988 to 91. I passed out my BSc in 91. During my state government arts college, I can say that I was influenced by the peer group, that means friends, and also some teachers have influenced my psyche. At this point, somehow I developed some sort of affinity for civil services. I used to read competition success review, competition refresher, such magazines, of course. Those magazines influenced my thought pattern, and somehow dramatically I developed some sort of interest towards civil services. I started picking up general knowledge bits here and there, and I used to write some sort of articles, although they were not published. I never stopped writing the articles. During that period, one article of mine was published in Telugu magazine, of course. That gave me unusual identity, and I was identified as a flourishing and promising author by my peers. My photograph was also published in that particular magazine, and I was uh, enjoying that popularity, of course. So later, somehow, due to this flair for writing, I picked up my writing skills, and also little bit of improvement was there in my listening skills, of course. Anyway, I completed my graduation in 91, and let me repeat, still I was an ordinary student, but the positive point is I got first class in graduation. Later, I wrote MSc entrance in zoology from SV University. I got second rank. Before writing this entrance examination, I joined for civil services coaching in R.C. Reddy Institute, Hyderabad, immediately after my graduation. That means after my graduation, I did not join PG course immediately. I took a break. I joined coaching for civil services in R.C. Reddy Institute. It was a tremendous exposure. I was really amazed to see the vastness of knowledge there. I became a voracious reader. I enjoyed that journey. I enjoyed that stay. During that period, I wrote entrance, of course, for PG. I got second rank in SV University and I joined MSc Geology in 92. And it was again a wonderful journey. I got a very good exposure to the luminaries of the world and the very accomplished scientists of the world in national and international seminars. And I got better exposure to the scientific world. And because my optional in civil services happened to be zoology, I read well. I gathered much information regarding my parent subject. And my second option was Telugu, of course, Telugu literature. That strengthened my Telugu vocabulary. And now I became very comfortable in both English and Telugu. And sometimes I feel I should have done my PG in Telugu rather than zoology. It's a different story, of course, because it's not destiny, I think. It seems that have got some sort of flair for zoology. I took it initially and I was really comfortable with zoology. During that period, of course, during the period of post graduation, by the time I come out, I was 22 years old. Later, immediately, I cleared the NET examination, National Eligibility Test, which was an additional feather in my cap of success. I cleared GATE with unusual score by that time. I got 86.64 percentile and I became eligible for junior research fellowship, of course. After that, I joined PhD. My topic was therapeutics and diagnosis of alcohol toxicity. And I used to cervically dislocate the albino rats. I used to give methyl alcohol and ethyl alcohol dose to them, and I used to isolate various tissues like that, of course. But during that period, I got interview for Group 1 services, which I lost by zero point 0.4 marks. And I scored 999 marks in mains examination. And if I had got another 3 marks, I should have become eligible for interview, of course. But no regrets, of course. So because I thought that because I became little bit successful in my journey, I thought that I was meant for becoming a civil servant. I abruptly left my research. This was a very grave event in my life. I never realized that a bird in the hand is worth two in bush. So at this point, I make it very clear that don't leave anything that is given by God. Take life as it comes, of course, but don't leave anything in the middle. Anyway, now I don't have PhD degree now also. Again, within this month, I'm going to join, of course. Again, I cleared the reset examination and I'm going to join PhD. But nothing is too late, of course. But why to lose time? Why to lose time? So don't leave anything abruptly. Anyway, I left my research abruptly. Later, I joined in some private college as a lecturer, of course. But the salary was very fat because there was a trend for MSET. I was paid really a very decent salary. But my work schedule was very much busy. It started by 6 a.m. and only to end up at 10 p.m. at night. I was a bachelor then. Later, surprisingly, I wrote junior lecturer examination and I got selected. And I was posted in Kadapa district in Chinnavarampadu. After some years, I was transferred to Chavatagunta in Chittoor district. So I settled down at Tirupati, enjoyed my life, and spiritually also I became very comfortable. I started exploring spiritual realms. I started reading many books. I used to contribute so many articles to newspapers like Civil Service Chronicle, Competition Refresher, and I used to write so many articles in Telugu also. So like that, it was a wonderful journey, wonderful spiritual journey also. I started balancing my spiritual and professional and the personal life. Everything went on well. Later, surprisingly, after 8 years of my career as junior lecturer, surprisingly, I got promoted as degree college lecturer and I was posted in government degree college Kalyandur. Later, one more twist in my life. Life is full of twists. One more pleasant twist in my life is I was transferred to Government Arts College, which was my alma mater. You see this journey. I studied in a Government Arts College. As a student, I was not that much successful, but now nature, God, time has given me some sort of opportunity to explore new vistas as a teacher in zoology in the same college. My tenure in Arts College was nearly 8 years. 8 years. I can say that that was the most successful, bright period. I really enjoyed my stay, my tenure as head of the Department of Zoology at Government Arts College, Anantapur. I started exploring various IT platforms, ICT tools. I started teaching in PowerPoint presentation. I started exploring different platforms in software. I became tech savvy. I underwent so many trainings and I started giving training to others. I became trainer of trainers. You see the transformation. During student days, I was like a caterpillar. I was like a caterpillar. And during the period of teaching, I became a butterfly. I successfully came out of my constraints, inhibitions. I overcame all of them. I became a free bird. I did not have any constraints now. Sky's the limit for me. And still, I feel that I am still young. I really feel that I am 52 years young. And history repeats. Again, I was transferred to Kalyandur Government Degree College. Presently, I am working at Kalyandur Government Degree College. My dear students, what I am telling is from this entire journey, when I recapitulate my life journey, what I learned is don't worry about failures. Failure is very common in the life of all. Don't define a particular thing as a failure and another thing as success. The definitions vary with time. And remember, failure is not fatal, success is not final. For every success, there is a formula. Try to gather courage. Don't blame anyone. Make yourself responsible for all your follies. Accept your limitations. Accept yourself. Accept your failures. And make a roadmap towards success. Don't get disappointed at any point of time. Go through the success stories, failure stories of everyone, and have a very good health. I used to go to gym, of course. I used to go to gym even during my graduation. Now I'm not going, of course, because of lack of time, but don't neglect health. And have faith in God, have faith in natural laws. You will not be a loser at any point of time. You will be a game changer at one fine point of time. My life is a classic example of that. I don't say that I have become a celebrity. I don't say that. Even today, I'm a common man, but I'm in a comfort zone. I'm not in a pressure zone. I'm in a comfort zone. So I know when to learn and when to unlearn, when to detach and when to detach, when to attach. So practice this attachment with the detachment. Make a SWOT analysis of your life. Identify the priorities and identify your core competency. My core competency is zoology. So identify your core competencies and try to explore it. And still, more than a decade of service is there for me. That means I'm going to retire in 2033. Until then, I will have a wonderful opportunity to inspire students, people like you. And I started making YouTube videos and nearly have made more than 1,000 YouTube videos in my channel, whether you believe it or not. And I met many people in life. I might have met more than 3 lakh people during my teaching career. And every day I used to handle 2 or 3 sessions. And I'll be meeting new people. I'll be training new people. And I'll be teaching even teachers, of course. So you can lead a very relaxed life once you reach a wonderful point, wonderful comfort zone. Working with comfort is the greatest success in our life. So once again, my dear students, all the best, all the best. May God be with you, and let us work together. Let us work together. Let us contribute something constructively to the society. Thank you very much.